Welcome to Fear and Greed Summer Investing Series, brought to you by Vanta, specialists in compliance-led growth. I'm Sean Aylmer. It's the new year, the perfect time to make some resolutions, and maybe one of those should be to get your superannuation working for you. To help with that, today we're looking at the 5 tips to sort out your super in 2025. As always, this is general information only, and you should seek independent advice before making investment decisions. Chris Brycki is the founder and CEO of online investment advisor Stockspot. Chris, welcome back to Fear and Greed.
Thanks, Sean. Great to be back.
5 things to do to make your super work for you. Number 1.
Well, obviously, Sean, super is such an important thing to get right. And the first thing I think everyone needs to look at is their mix of assets in their super. So in a very simple sense, when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, time's at your advantage. You've got plenty of time. You've got decades before retirement, and you need to have a bigger allocation to growth assets in your portfolio. So we recommend our clients invest in an aggressive growth or growth style portfolio, which has somewhere between 70 to 90% of growth assets during those years. Then as you move into your 50s and 60s, your strategy needs to evolve and become a little bit more conservative. You might not have as much time to come back from a big downturn in the market. So we generally recommend a more balanced or conservative approach, somewhere between 50 to 80% of growth assets, we think makes more sense in that time. And then once you reach your mid-60s, really you need to start to think about having a portfolio that's going to be able to be robust in different environments, distribute income, which you're going to need to live off, and therefore a conservative strategy for a lot of people makes sense. So asset mix is number 1. The second tip I have is really understanding where you're invested and making sure it's aligned with what you believe in and your values. And that sort of plays out in a few ways. So one is, some people believe in active investing. So, picking stocks, picking investments and assets and venture capital and picking when you're going to buy and sell. And then there's other people that believe in passive investing, just buying and holding the market over the long run. And different super funds believe in one or the other. For instance, in our Stockspot super product, we're very much advocating passive investing because we believe it's the better and more sensible long-term approach for most people. But then there's other factors to consider, like, do you want a portfolio that's more ESG focused and sustainable focused, which has certainly been a hot topic over the last 5 or 10 years. So understand where the money's invested is number 2. Third one is one that comes up every year for us in our Fat Cat research, which is understand your fees. So most people, I don't believe, appreciate that small changes in your fees can have an enormous impact on your final outcome. And even paying as little as what sounds as little as 1.5% per year could eat somewhere between $200,000 to $300,000 out of how much money you have at the end. So keeping your fees well below 1% a year is our tip to clients. If you're paying any more than that, then more of your super is going to land in the pockets of your fund managers and your super fund. It's going to help them fund, sponsoring sports teams and buying boxes at the tennis, but probably not going to help your retirement. So keep those fees low. Number 4 is insurance. So for a lot of people, insurance is a good thing to consider within super. You certainly get some tax benefits within super, but it's not needed for everyone. So consider where you are in your life. Is insurance important? Life insurance, disability insurance, and income protection are the main ones super funds offer. So really assess whether you need that based on where you are with your family, with your loved ones, and whether it's the right time of life to have insurance. And then the final tip I'd have, Sean, is if this is all too confusing, consider whether you need to get advice. I think a lot of people can manage their super effectively on their own, but a lot of people also feel more comfortable speaking to someone, whether it's a traditional advisor or a digital robo-advisor like we have at Stockspot. Sometimes getting some advice can help as well.
Do many people get advice? I mean, super is something we all have, but I'm leading you a bit here, but it amazes me how many people do not get advice on an asset which is so important to them.
I think it's become less and less of fewer people that are getting advice, mainly because fewer advisors are still in the industry, Sean. The advice industry shrunk from close to 30,000 advisors to closer to 15,000 over the last 10 years after the Royal Commission. So there's just less advisors out there. Most of them will only speak to you if you've got at least 500,000, but some of them 1 or 2 million, and which just, really means that not many people have access to advisors. That's really where we're trying to fit in by giving advice to people that even have smaller balance super.
Chris, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, Sean.
That's Chris Brycki, founder and CEO of online investment advisor Stockspot. This is Fear and Greed Summer Investing Series brought to you by Vanta. Vanta automates compliance for frameworks like ISO 27001, SOC 2, CPS 234 and Essential 8, saving time and money while building trust. Join over 8,000 companies like Atlassian, Dovetail and FireAnt managing real-time risk. Get $1,000 off at vanta.com/fearandgreed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.